Hi there, my name is Travis McHenry and I am the creator of the Occult Tarot. This is currently being published by Rockpool Publishing out of Australia, and it's widely available almost all across the world. You can buy it in Barnes & Noble, find it on Amazon, and in lots of small metaphysical and occult bookstores around the world. So this is the very first deck that I ever created. It's very close to my heart. And unfortunately, it is also the first deck that has been knocked off by Chinese counterfeiters. This is the knockoff version. And the reason I want to make this video is because I get a lot of complaints from people who have purchased this version who are mad at me because the cardstock is poor, or it doesn't come with a book, or all kinds of other little things that are wrong with this deck. So I'm always very happy to take those emails to explain, hey, you bought a knockoff deck, I'm sorry for that. But I also wanted to take a moment to show you, what is really the difference. Why should you spend the extra 20 bucks to buy this deck versus this deck, which generally retails for I think $7. This one I think is about $25, 23 to 25, somewhere in there. So it's a little less than a $20 difference, but I mean, just do I have to say any more? Can I just end the video here? Look at the difference in size. Okay, so we open it up. This, the authentic one, has got a gigantic guidebook. Look at this, it's humongous. Thick, big, filled with color and pictures of every single card. So this is what you would expect to see from a professionally published tarot deck, Nice guidebook, lots of material in it. Color, like I said, and if you flip to the back, you can even see a picture of my ugly mug. There I am. Well, I look great, right? Okay, so that's the guidebook. This scrawny little thing, the guidebook is here on this QR code. And guess what? Hey, scan this with your phone and tell me if it works. It does not work. This QR code has never worked for anybody. In fact, that's the #1 complaint. People write to me on emails and they say, why doesn't the QR code work? Why can't I download the book? And I say, because this book does not exist. So if you want the book, you got to buy the real version. Now let's look at the cards themselves. Watch this. Are you ready? Are you sitting down? Okay. First of all, these are normal tarot size cards. These cards are not. They're smaller than normal tarot size. Let's open this deck. And they're not smaller by a little, they're smaller by a lot. Take a look at that. Okay, so the card size itself is worse. It's much smaller. I guess if you have tiny little hands, this would be great for you. Also, the thickness of the card is different. These are a much thinner, crappier cardstock. This is a thicker, more robust cardstock. And then, here's my favorite part. Let's go ahead and take a look at the edges. You know for sure, you open that box and you got a tiny little deck of cards, you think something's wrong. Here's the answer you were looking for. One's got a beautiful metallic finish, red metallic edging, and the other one has nothing. So the first run of this did not have the red metallic edging. The very first edition of this that Rockpool published had just regular white sides. But it's still a larger deck. It comes with a full book. It's still got head and shoulders above what this thing is. But now, any deck you're purchasing in the last, 6 months or so should have that red edging on it if it's legitimate. And it's a bigger card, thicker cardstock. Just feels really good to actually manipulate and play around with, as opposed to this little thing, which is not good at all. And so, look, some people purchase these knockoff decks. It's because they're a lot cheaper. They see a deck for $7. They don't realize how much less you're getting. I mean, you're getting an entire less book, smaller cards, and no red metallic edging. So you're getting a lesser product for a lesser price, because they can crank these things out by the millions, I guess, if they wanted to. And it doesn't cost the Chinese company very much. The other thing is, they took off. So this deck has microprint on it. I put the incantations and invocations on these cards, I'm trying to find one that I specifically know has got it. The Ace of Cups is around here someplace. So there's microprint printed on the cards, and this company, this Chinese company, they weren't able to copy that. That's why it's on there. It's an anti-counterfeiting measure. So they weren't able to copy that. So you look at these cards, there's absolutely no microprint on it whatsoever. Those invocations that are put on the deck on the cards for safety purposes, so you can actually use them in ritual summoning, they're not on this version. So sort of buyer beware. But look, what I was saying before is, so some people buy these decks because they're cheaper. Okay, you want to save $17 or whatever it is. I don't think that's worth it, but whatever. You can go ahead and do that, I guess. The other thing is, a lot of times these versions, the knockoff, is available in territories where the full size is not available. So for example, I think a few people from Indonesia have told me that they can't find the authentic ones, but they can find these ones. I guess I understand that. If you absolutely have no other option, you can't purchase the legitimate version, and the knockoff version, you're seeing it in stores in your local area, then okay, I guess I can see that. If you're really up against that, I've had people in Russia or in like the Balkans of Europe, the Balkan region, write to me and say, hey, I can't find your decks. Can you get me one? They'll send me the money. I'll buy the deck off Amazon myself, package it, and ship it to them. It costs me a couple of bucks to do that, but I would rather, me lose $3 or $4 in that process than you get stuck with a crappy knockoff version of my deck. Because the other problem with this is, you got to look close because it's in tiny print, but they're putting my name on this deck. They took Rockpool Publishing is nowhere on here. They took that name off, but my name, Travis McHenry, is still on the deck. So people are able to say, oh, well, this must be legit. Travis must have backed this. But you know what? I don't make a penny off of these decks. I see absolutely no benefit from them whatsoever. All it costs me is time and energy in responding to the poor people who have bought it, who are angry because, it's crap. So that's that. That's the difference between the legitimate occult tarot and the knockoff occult tarot. That's it. Bye, real.